Ahoy! Captain Benzie here, coming at you with another intel report. This series looks to break each unit down to help you understand its strengths and its weaknesses, and give suggestions on how to use them. Please note that I do not get paid for these videos. If you're enjoying them and finding them useful, please do consider dropping a donation into my digital tip jar. I've put a link in the description below. For today's intel report, we are looking at the Nod Rockworm. Based on technology developed for the infamous Montauk subterranean transport, the Rockworm is a symbol of Nod's mastery of burrow technology. The Rockworm's terrifying size and razor-sharp cutting teeth can reduce even the heaviest GDI armor to scraps in seconds. Rockworms move underground, making them immune to damage while moving, and they deal damage to all adjacent units when they resurface, often being able to wipe out weaker units that would normally counter them, like missiles and laser squads. Do be aware, however, that this emerging damage does also affect your own units. Rockworms deal extreme amounts of damage to vehicles, able to rapidly obliterate enemy pit bulls, tanks, rhinos, and even the heavier tech units. What a Rockworm has in strength, however, it loses in speed and surprise. Rockworms move very slowly and visibly, giving your opponent time to reposition units away from them, and can often take a considerable amount of damage while attempting to reburrow if they need to run away. They're also unable to hold platforms while moving, so be careful as a poorly timed burrowing may cost you a missile. Rockworms' primary weaknesses are to air units, which they can't hit, infantry, which aside from unburrowing damage they do very little to, and other squad-based units, such as attack bikes, as each attack they do can only hit a single squad member at a time. So that's what Rockworms are, but how can you run these terrifying units in your own deck? I've put a sample deck together here. Due to their weaknesses to enemy aircraft, and to anti-vehicle infantry, Widowmakers are an obvious choice to twin with Rockworms. Cyborgs could also work here, but do leave you open to infantry threats. Now, as Rockworms are expensive, this deck relies on multiple cheap units to control the early game with good counters. The laser squads make good scouts, and the flame troopers allow you to deal with enemy infantry that naturally your lasers prompt. Buggies and bikes are also included, but are mainly here for any threats that your opening units cannot quite counter on their own. A second harvester should be brought out when it's safe, although Timeous Harvester Pop can also fast track you into your tech units. Rockworms can then be used to hold the pads against strong enemy ground vehicles. By microing the Rockworm briefly onto its own tile, you can burrow and re-emerge swiftly to kill off infantry or squad units in a pinch, but you will need the Widowmakers to keep aircraft units off of them. I hope that's helpful. Be sure to check out my other intel reports if you're struggling against certain units, or looking for tips as to how to best apply a new unit in your deck. Also check out my Acting on Instinct series with analysis of game mechanics and solid advice on how to get ahead in Rivals. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe to be up to date and ahead of the game. Happy sailing, and see you on the battlefield!